Good morning. Thank you so much. And welcome to what I refer to as faculty, administrators, and staff convocation. It's certainly a pleasure for me as the president of Prince George's Community College to not just welcome you back to the fall 2019 semester, but to welcome you to the Center for Performing Arts. And what we wanted to do this morning was to celebrate internally the construction of this beautiful facility.
It's got great action.
So this was the beginning of what we call our internal groundbreaking and opening celebration for this facility. As I was walking in today, I thought to myself, I don't even remember when construction began. And maybe that's because we are clearly at the end of it, and our facilities, procurement, and event management, scheduling teams, and the humanities department are really finishing up some touches so that we can be ready for classes that will begin on August 26th. So, as always, I'm happy to be here, and I hope that each one of you took the time for rest and relaxation this summer, and that you're just as energized as I am to kick off another fall semester. So I want to give a shout out to our colleagues at the Degree and Extension Centers, because we will open at 10 a.m. this morning. Some of them may not have been able to travel down here to the Largo campus to ensure that they are there for students, both new and continuing, who will be waiting for them when the doors open. So let's say hey to Joint Base Andrews, University Town Center, Laurel College Center, Westphalia Training Center, and the Skilled Trade Center. So I have a few things to discuss with all of you today, so we're going to get started. I remind all of us of our vision, that Prince George's Community College is the region's premier center for innovations in learning, community engagement, and strategic partnerships that inspire educational, career, and personal success. And our mission, simple but full of so much, that we provide affordable, high-quality learning experiences that support personal, professional, and educational development for the diverse populations, contributing to the economic equity and the cultural vibrancy of our community, not just here in Prince George's County, but across the region. And for each of these, we have three goals: student success, where we want to create and sustain optimal conditions for students to design and achieve their academic, career, and personal goals. Regional impact, we want to drive strategic partnerships to identify and respond to the region's present and future priorities. And organizational excellence, creating and sustaining agile, effective, and efficient institutional synergies that have been developed and mapped to each indicator and target to ensure that we are focusing on the work that will move Prince George's Community College forward. Now, some of us are engaged in continuing initiatives, partnerships, and business plans that will help us achieve these goals. And as I continue, hopefully you'll begin to see how the work that we're doing at the college supports our vision, our mission, and our strategic goals, and that work is integral to the success of our students and to our individual and collective success as employees of this institution. So we're continuing to move forward in the second year of our fiscal year 19 through 21 strategic plan. Key performance indicators have been identified and shared by the leadership of strategy planning and effectiveness through department meetings, division meetings, area meetings, constituency group meetings, KPI cafes, the college-wide forum, the academic council, and the Board of Trustees public meetings. These indicators focus on several things: graduation rates, success in gatekeeper courses, certification and licensure completion, retention and persistence rates for credit and continuing education students. Many of you contributed your thoughts, your reviews, and your feedback on the KPIs, as we call them, and I'd like to thank each one of you for your involvement. They set the stage for our continued work and the expectations of every employee at this institution. So we've done a few things over the course of the past year. We're in probably phase 3 or 4 of the implementation of pathways, because we know that that's vital to the success of our students. We are moving from what we always said was a capital P, pathways, to a lowercase p, which means it is becoming the way that we work here at the institution. The model streamlines and organizes programs of study into 10 academic pathways: allied health and nursing, behavioral and social sciences, business, industry and entrepreneurship, education, liberal and creative arts, professional and personal development, public safety and law, science, engineering, mathematics and technology, and wellness, culinary arts, and hospitality, all of which are inclusive of our continuing education, workforce development, and short-term training programs. So what we know is that each pathway has the opportunity to lead students to specific careers as well as transfer opportunities, and it will help them identify appropriate courses and programs that they can successfully complete in 2 years, no more than 3, if they are first-time, full-time students. They can complete with less time and less money, which is really important to the students that we serve. The Pathways leadership team and the work groups have worked really hard to roll out this new model and help everyone understand each of our individual roles and responsibilities in the implementation. So we all play a part in ensuring that Pathways is successfully deployed and understood by each other and the students. The portal is replete with information, so there is no excuse not to know. There is no excuse not to know. So our key performance indicators will provide data to evaluate Pathways and each other as we do the work. It should improve the overall student life cycle from application to college completion. We should see improvements in enrollment, retention, and progress along the paths in math and English, and eventually completion of degrees. Let's all make sure that we're asking the right questions and doing the right work of Pathways. So our standing in the state, the region, and the nation depend upon this work. So today, we're in the Center for Performing Arts. Today, we are in the Center for Performing Arts. So while you will not be able to tour the entire facility today, I want to make you aware that it houses 3 theaters: the Grand Theater that we're in now, the Proscenium, and the Black Box. A dance studio, 2 of them I believe, a green room, a cafe, recording studios, choral rooms, art galleries, TV studios, and radio stations, music practice rooms. We have done everything we could to ensure that the visual and performing arts are alive and well at Prince George's Community College. So what I will tell you is that in the next several weeks, you'll receive information via email where we're going to be setting up time tours throughout the morning, afternoon, and early evening, and even on the weekends for those faculty and staff who teach and work on the weekends, that will give you an opportunity to explore a building that moved from 33,000 square feet to 170,000 square feet. So we're really excited about that. So, it's not always evident, I think, but the one thing I know is that I believe that we work better, we are more collegial, and we perform better when we are in state-of-the-art spaces. So as I continue a little later on in my remarks, you'll find out what's coming next for the Largo campus of our institution. But our completed projects help us do a number of things. We can address labor market needs, we improve economic impact, we increase internship rates and employment, we grow the median income of our students, and all of these things, too, will be evaluated through the lens of our key performance indicators. So it doesn't go unnoticed that new buildings and new and renovated spaces support our work environments as well. So the next really, really, really big renovation and new construction project is Marlborough Hall. And for those of you who work at Marlborough Hall, I know that you are excited about this and really ready for the next phase of our construction journey. Marlborough Hall is the largest classroom building at the Largo campus. So this past spring and summer, a subcommittee of the Space Committee spent considerable time identifying locations to support the movement of just about 110 faculty and staff, a plethora of services, and the largest classrooms that we have on campus. So by September 1st, we've seen 2 iterations of the projected moves across the campus, and by September 1st, we will have approved everything. We're trying to move faculty offices, services that exist, both classrooms, what I would call classroom focus labs, and then open labs that our students use. And we're trying to move them across this campus in such a way that faculty are not too far away from the classrooms in which they will teach, and students will not have to search all over the campus for the services that they need. So I will tell you that there's overall support for the plan that has been presented by the subcommittee, and there are only 1 or 2 remaining decisions. I believe that we made one of them yesterday via an email conversation around the labs, and especially the larger labs in Marlborough Hall, and we'll make the remaining one with regard to veteran services within the next several days. And then I know that Dr. Raley will probably speak more about that when he meets with the teaching, learning, and student success area later this morning. So we just request that everyone remember that moves are temporary. And sometimes when it's temporary, maybe you're not as comfortable as you're used to being in that behemoth that we call Marlborough Hall. So work with us. We certainly are going to work with you and make sure that the space that you will inhabit for the next 2.5 years will be as comfortable as we can possibly make it. I believe that we're in the process of developing the request for proposals for construction companies for Marlborough Hall. It's our intent that all of the moves are completed before we leave for winter break, because construction will start on Marlborough Hall in the spring of 2020. So we're excited about that, and I want to take the opportunity to thank Dr. Dave Mosby, the Executive Director of Facilities Management, and his team for all of the work that they do. I cannot tell you how many times we had to go to the Department of General Services or the Department of Budget and Management or the county executive and the county council as we looked for their support for this building. So we're really excited about it, and again, I know that you will be too. So the next building, planning is in place, and we have received the design money for Largo Student Center. The design of that building will begin this year. So I want to thank a couple of people because we had a lot of hard work to do in the General Assembly back in January of 2019. Student Affairs, because they had to think very seriously about the design of the building and how it was going to serve students and the greater community. Facilities, because they had to put all of that on paper, send the schematics to the appropriate departments at the state level and at the county, and get approval for the funding that we ask for. Procurement, because they are always making sure that our contracts are in place, that we're dotting every I and crossing every T. Administrative and Financial Services, led by Terry Bacote Charles, because she was my partner as we worked to ensure that we had the money for this building. And I say all of that because I need to tell you this. When we started thinking about Marlborough Hall, we didn't think as big as we needed to. We thought about sprucing up the inside of the building, maybe adding a few thousand square feet to the tune of about $34 million. We sat down one day and said the vision is not big enough. But that meant we had to go back to the state and the county for additional money. So I'm pleased to report that Largo Student Center will not only be renovated, there will be new construction and a third floor will be added to the building. So it moved from a $33 million project to a $64 million project. So we're excited about that as well. And then Bladen Hall will be next. We are working on we have in our plan a new center for wellness that will deal with our athletic programs and being able to do some things on campus for our athletes that heretofore we've not been able to do. And like most people will do, we want to make sure that the facilities around the campus are taken care of, and Kent Hall will be last. But we certainly have a plan for Kent Hall and to see how we can upgrade and make state-of-the-art the administration building. That building has yet to have a dollar amount attached to it. The ones that I've mentioned, Marlborough, Largo Student Center, Bladen Hall, are all on the priority list for the state and for Maryland's community colleges. So over the next several years, we'll complete a building, we'll start another one. We'll complete that building, we'll start another one. So again, I want to thank Dave and his team because this takes a lot of work, a lot of energy, and a lot of effort. But it's all to ensure that each one of us has the opportunity to work in buildings that support the kind of environment that we would like. So then we'll talk about our degree and extension centers. So last year we held visioning sessions at both the Laurel College Center and the University Town Center. And we left those visioning sessions with two significant goals. One, of course, always is to focus on enrollment. And the second one is to increase the number of programs that can be fully completed at those sites so that our students will not have to travel by personal or public transportation to the Largo campus in order to complete their associate degree programs. Many of us do not understand what it takes to move from those two entities, one in Hyattsville and one in Laurel, to get here. Most students, if they have to take public transportation, they are traveling a minimum of 2 hours from those locations just because of the bus routes. Now, if you've been following our county executive, Angela Also Brooks, online, you will know that we received some federal dollars, and pretty soon you'll see some electric buses joining the bus route and moving around our community. But it's still not enough. So what we need to do is to ensure that students who attend UTC or LCC can complete programs there and not have to travel to the campus. So again, enrollment and program completion at those sites are the two huge goals for those two degree and extension centers. So I will also tell you that organizational excellence is important in the strategic plan. And I'll give you just a few updates that will help you understand how we're promoting and maintaining excellence across the college. So we've done some new onboarding for our employees to make sure that when they enter your offices, that they are ready and prepared to work while understanding the nuances of each of the offices in which they will do that work. So we know as new employees that it's important that you feel prepared to do your jobs. And before I go on, I know that I had the opportunity on Monday to meet with the 24 new faculty members who've been hired. Clay reminded us that we've hired about 10%. Those 24 faculty members represent about 10% of the full-time faculty. But will all new employees who joined us today, will you please stand? If you were not here last year at this time, you are still new for this convocation. So thank you for joining us. I always say that I think employment is a two-way street. We have to see something in your credentials that get you to and through the interview process. And during that process, you have to see something in us that makes you say yes in accepting the offer. So thank you for that, and we really appreciate what we know that you'll bring to Prince George's Community College. Many of you are participating in the peer delegate program that allows us to match a continuing employee with a new employee so that they begin to understand the changing culture and the changing work here at the college. So thank you, those of you who are participating in that. We're also looking at our training. You know that, and we'll talk about that today, there are some trainings that are required, mandatory, you must do, choose whatever way you want to frame it, but we cannot get out of it. So because we accept Title IV funds or any federal funds, it could be grants, Title IV, financial aid, student loans, there are some things we're required to do. One of those is Title IX. And I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce Ms. Susan Watson. Susan is our new Title IX compliance officer. Susan, if you read what I sent out via email about her, is also a graduate of Prince George's Community College, so we're excited about that. She went on and continued her educational journey, comes to us from a law firm where she was a partner, associate, and the like. She has a long bio, but please take the opportunity to reach out to her, and if you don't, not to worry, she'll be reaching out to you, all right? So the other thing I would tell you is that as part of that training, there are going to be some, active shooter. We'll do that, and I don't know about you all, but these last couple of weeks have just been more and more unsettling for me. And what I've done is, in addition to the online training, I've asked Terry, as she works with Chief James and Melody Batten-Mickens, who is our new sort of emergency crisis management officer, to look at tabletop training that every employee can participate in, that it is face-to-face. Should anything ever happen, and we never planned for that, we never want it to happen, but we need to know what to do. because we need to depend on each other, and our students and those visitors who are here should be able to depend upon us. So I don't want to rely on a 30-minute video that will tell us what we should do just in case. So the chief and Ms. Batten-Mickens will be looking at face-to-face training that will be in Largo Student Center, wherever we'll handle anywhere from 50 to 100 people at a time, taking us through some tabletop exercises, having individuals from the county's emergency management office come in and talk to us. It's a trying time in this country, and unfortunately it is, but we have to be prepared for anything that has the potential to occur. It's not the way that I want to talk about things at this meeting, but I don't know how we can avoid the discussion. I also don't know how we can avoid the training. So look for the information, and please, please sign up to go. They will do the same thing. Training will be in the mornings, in the afternoons, in the early evenings, on Saturdays, to ensure that all of our employees have the opportunity to go through it, ask some key and critical questions, and understand what we need to do in the case of an emergency. So I'm going to thank you in advance for that, because we are going to be looking and expecting that all of us will participate in it. Wellness. So I know that we do walking Mondays, yoga Tuesdays, Zumba Fridays. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm a regular participant, but I will tell you that it's available, and I do want to thank the Human Resources and Organizational Development Office, the Wellness Center, and even the Technical and Support Staff Organization, because they have really embraced this and tried to make things available to us so that we can both relieve stress during the day and maybe lose a few pounds in the process. So maybe I should be much more participatory than I am today. So thank you for that. We've talked about the training, and I know that Lynn and her team have tried to reduce it to no more than 30 minutes. And I always say this: if we're a full-time employee, technically we're supposed to work 1,950 hours a year. Five 30-minute trainings is 150 minutes, which is less than 3 hours. I know we can do it. I have faith. All right? So just look for the emails on that. The other thing that I would say is that many of you should have recognized in your, I don't know which pay in July, but one of them, that we received a 5% salary increase this year. Now, dependent upon when you started, because some people in the audience will say, well, I don't remember receiving 5%. And that's because if you start after a certain period of time in the year, it is prorated, or we try to ensure that if you start after March or April, that we've taken that into account when we are offering you employment and a salary. So, but I just want to bring it up because I don't think that I can underscore or talk too much about the commitment that this administration and the Board of Trustees has to ensuring that we have competitive salaries here at this institution. Some of you will remember in 2009 when we went through that compensation study. I know that we're currently working on the process to engage in with a consultant in another study. I will tell you back then, because where we can really compare is among the faculty. If you look at the Maryland Higher Education Commission website and what we call the Maryland Association of Community Colleges data book, we call it the MAC data book, but they pull all of their information from MHEC, so it's not two different pieces of information. What we know is back in 2009, our faculty were somewhere around number 13 of 16 community colleges in terms of salary. Today, we are around number 4. Now, one of our sister institutions told me that we're actually third highest paid faculty in the state, and I've asked Naseem Ibrahimi to verify that for me, so that you all need to understand the work that we have done to ensure that we've been giving salary improvements every year since 2007, with the exception of 1 year. So we're excited about that. The board is committed to it, as is, again, the senior administration, and we'll keep doing what we do around salary improvements. So I will also say that there are some other things that we're going to be engaged in. Is Joanne Tadero here? So where are you? Okay. So Joanne is happy because I think we finally started refurbishing the baseball fields. And you all may not be aware, but we have a nationally recognized baseball team that has gone to the Nationals at least twice out of the last 3 years. And we have the potential for our walking to become a little easier because we're also going to redo the track. Now, in redoing the track, I want to be clear. We have a nationally recognized track and field team, and they need some place to practice because today they go to the Sports and Learning Complex or somewhere else at 4 a.m. in the morning. That's what I said. So, in redoing the track, we're going to make it a competition track so they can both practice and we can hold competitions here at the college. Now, what that means, however, is that the people you see walking around the track today, they will not walk around the competition track because we're going to build some fences and we're going to put some bleachers in there, and then we're going to build 3 lanes of what we call walking trails outside of the track. So we're going to make sure that we stay committed to each one of you as you walk, and we're going to stay committed to our community at large, but they will not be walking on the competition track. You got that, Chief James? Where's the chief? Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. So those are coming actually this year. Baseball has already started, and I believe we're going to start the track in the either late fall or early spring of the year. So there are a lot of new things going on here as we think about physical improvements. We launched the new website, and we continue to make improvements. And for those of you who are going out and looking at the website, or you're the content owners for your area, we want you to continue talking with Angie Cruz and her team so that we can make the updates. Our intent is to ensure that the website is always accurate, always timely, and words are spelled correctly. All right? That's important for an educational institution. All right? We launched Navigate and the Navigate app for our students as part of the Pathways project. We're launching an electronic code software, the Code, which is the book of policies for the college. We have done some significant work on our code, and on September 17th, we are prepared to go to the college-wide forum to begin talking about either substantive changes in current policy and new policies that we want to recommend through the college-wide forum for eventual recommendation and approving by the Board of Trustees. So I want to thank everyone who's worked on reviewing all of our policies, reviewing all of our procedures, and then suggesting new language, or what I would call language simplification, language clarification to the code, so that as we move forward, we have a document that is not only contemporary, but it really reflects what we do here at the college. The software, we will upload the code into a software product that will allow us to continuously refresh it. It will allow you all to go out to the code and through a keyword sort of process, be able to get to immediately what you're looking for when you want to look at policy and/or procedure. So for those policy matters for which there is a corresponding procedure, we also have a numerical kind of process that will allow us to say, and I'll give you an example, 01001 is the policy. 01001 CP is the college procedure, and they will be there together so that you won't have to look for anything around procedures when you're looking at policy. Now, there are some policies that don't have procedures with them. There are some procedures that don't have policy connected to them because they are operational in nature. But those procedures and those policies will also fall within this software that anyone can access, and again, using keywords to get to them. So I want to thank Naseem, who has really helped us with that, and Ilana Robinson, and Greta Martin, and then you all may not be aware of this, but you know for a long time, Alonia Sharps was the keeper of the code here at the college, and she has come in and helped us with understanding where some of the language clarification needs to go. The code is full of legalese, and what we want to do is eliminate that to the extent possible so that we know the policy environment in which we work. So, you know that classes start next week. So you know I called Kathy Camp this morning and I said, Kathy, bring me some enrollment data so I can share that at this meeting. So I will tell you where we are today. As of yesterday, I think the updated enrollment numbers come out around 9 o'clock this morning. So we are about 0.5% up in head count. We are 3.77% up in course enrollments. We are 3.3% up in credit hours. The same number for semester full-time equivalencies. We're about 3% down in new students. We're just about even with continuing students, and we're 6% up in returning students. The numbers at our degree and extension centers, Joint Base Andrews today is up 69%. Laurel College Center is down. It looks like maybe about 5% right now, but as many of you know, Laurel College Center actually starts a week after we do because we align the schedule there with Howard Community College. University Town Center is up 4.7%, and it tells me that all of our other locations are up 108.3%. Online is up 13%. So that what we're hoping is that we will at least realize a few percentage points up in enrollment. I will tell you today, according to last year's data, we have maintained enrollment more than any other community college in the state of Maryland. So we are absolutely doing our work. As I begin to close out, I've been asked to remind us about service being the core of the work that we do here at the college. And we serve our students and our colleagues through programs such as PGCC Cares and through service projects in and about and around our community. So this year, on Wednesday, September the 11th, we're going to partner with Kids Against Hunger in observance of the National Day of Service and Remembrance. Launched in 2002, many of you will remember, the National Day of Service and Remembrance encourages volunteering as a tribute to the victims, survivors, and those who served in response of the attacks in New York on September 11th, 2001, and across this country, the Pentagon, New York, and outside of my hometown in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. So Kids Against Hunger, their goal is to eradicate world hunger through packing and providing nutritious meals. The Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations estimates that about 1 in 9 people suffered from undernourishment in 2017. And what I will tell you is we know that because about 68 to 70% of young people enrolled in the Prince George's County Public Schools are what we are identified as what we call free and reduced meals or farms. And that means that every day they go to school, they have the opportunity to receive a free breakfast and a free lunch. So that tells you about hunger, not just across the world, but in our own community. About 15.3 million children under the age of 18 live in households without access to nutritious foods necessary for a healthy life. We know that because we talk about the food deserts here in Prince George's County, where there is not a grocery store, and there are these sort of, I don't want to really name any because I go to one of them for coffee almost every morning. So you know it's not Starbucks. That I can tell you. But what we know is they're either, if they have fresh fruits and vegetables, the cost is outrageous and unaffordable for families who live on fixed incomes. So we believe that we can help do something to make a small difference. So I want you to join us on Wednesday, September the 11th, and pack 10,000 meals for Kids Against Hunger. So, the Office of Student Engagement and Leadership, they're going to host the event from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Largo Student Center, community rooms A, B, and C, so we can look at our schedules and our calendars and plan to go there accordingly. And publicly, what I'm going to ask is that supervisors, managers, coordinators, directors, deans, executive directors, senior directors, vice presidents, and the president, that we give our staffs the opportunity to help in this endeavor by working our schedules to ensure that whomever wants to go to help pack a meal for Kids Against Hunger can do it on Wednesday, September the 11th. That's what I'm asking. So, in addition to helping pack the meals, you can donate to cover the cost of a meal. Each meal costs 25 cents. Not $25, not $2.50, 25 cents. So, if you have it in you to make a donation, think about what $1 can do, $10 can do, $20 can do, so on and so forth. So they're going to accept donations in the Office of Student Engagement and Leadership from Monday the 9th through Friday, September 13th in Largo Student Center, room 149. So emails will come out about this, and again, we just ask you to volunteer or give so that we can not only meet but surpass our goal of 10,000 meals. So there will be information on my PGCC for additional volunteer opportunities, and if you have an idea for a service project, please don't hesitate to share it. So I will also say to you that we're going to have another grand opening for this building. It'll be on September 26th, where we're inviting the public to come in and take advantage of looking at what we have to offer in our community and, again, our region. So, it's my understanding that on Friday, September 27th, and you have, I think you received this as you were walking in this morning, we're going to welcome some comedians. Nate Jackson, Rip Michaels, and Jeremy Alsop. Now, I'm going to be clear to you. I don't know what their comedic genre is. So, my intent is to be here and sit in the back of the room. Because if it gets too racy, I don't want people to see me laughing and taking pictures. But I intend to be here. The Bluebird Blues Festival will return to Prince George's Community College on Saturday, September 28th and it'll be the 24th annual festival. It is free, open to the public. Please bring your family, your friends, your neighbors to the Bluebird Blues Festival. And if you have it in you, please volunteer for an hour or two during that day to help out the events management, scheduling team, and the Office of Student Life, Student Engagement. The artists who will be here are phenomenal. We'll be using all 3 of the theaters in this facility. There will be, I know, a kids area. We'll be partnering with Maryland National Capital Park and Planning. There'll be food vendors. There'll be craft beer vendors. And there'll be some wineries will be represented. And the college police will be here too. To ensure that 2 glass maximum, but at any rate, we intend to have a great time and welcome the Bluebird Blues Festival back to the college. On that Saturday evening, Comcast will be presenting the Xfinity Gospel Showcase, bringing gospel choirs and gospel artists from across the country, and it will feature gospel artist Fred Hammond. So we're excited about that. And then we will close the weekend on Sunday, September 29th, with an evening of jazz featuring Avery Sunshine and the Chelsea Green and the Chelsea Green Project. So we're excited about that. In addition, the art gallery will feature works collected by our own Dr. Diane Whitfield Locke, who is a member of the Prince George's Community College Foundation. She's a member of the board of directors, and she has the largest African-American art collection on the Eastern Seaboard. We will be able to showcase some of that in our art gallery. So what I will tell you as I close out, that the upward mobility that the college is experiencing will truly affect our students, and I hope each one of you. For that reason, I want you to feel, as I do, that we are part of something meaningful here, part of something that will change the trajectory of the lives of generations to come. So next week, when students enter your classroom or they seek your services, they will begin or continue their journeys to live the lives for which they have dreamed. Our role is to help them do that. So I won't bother telling you, I tell my story all the time. I won't do that today, and for those of you who know it, please share it with those who don't. But what I do know is that as the first day of the fall semester approaches, keep in mind the value of what we call preparation and collaboration. Feel confident in your ability to teach, serve, and challenge our students. Don't hesitate to share your ideas to improve the learning environment or any other concerns that you have. We have to support each other in this thing called education at Prince George's Community College, because when we do that, our students have a more enjoyable experience, and we do too. The environment where I want to come to work every day is not one that has 0 problems, but it's one where we can be open and honest and candid, sharing what the issues are, and work together to solve them. I can't solve a thing if everyone talks about it around me and not to me. So I will say that the beginning of any academic year is a special time because it sets the tone for what is to come. Let's ensure that Prince George's Community College is a great place to pursue higher education and one of the best decisions that our students will ever have made. That it's a great place for us as we come to work here, and it continues to be one of the best decisions that we have ever made. Thank you for being here this morning. Have a great semester, and I'll see you in the mix, as my son says. Thank you. So we have with us today Nova Patton, and she is going to sing Home from the Wiz, a play that will be offered here this fall. Miss Patton.
Think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home, I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. When that makes the tall grass bend into leaning, suddenly the raindrops that fall, they have a meaning, sprinkling the seed makes it all clean. Maybe there's a chance for me to go back now that I have some direction. It sure would be nice to be back home where there's love and affection. And just maybe I can convince time to slow up, giving me enough time in my life to grow up. Time, be my friend and help me start again. Suddenly my world's gone and changed its face, but I still know where I'm going. Now I have had my mind spun around in space, but yet I watched it growing. And oh, if you're listening, God, please don't make it hard to know that we should believe the things